BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? Welcome back to episode number 83 of The Lobby, and happy Halloween to each and every one of you out there. Sammy is always dressed for Halloween, regardless of whether it's Halloween or not. He has always got his costume on. But Sammy, Sammy Claus, a little bit early for that, Sammy. What's up?
Sammy Claus is coming to town. You know, we're making deals, buy one, get one full price. It's the holiday special. You know, Halloween, it's a time to dress up. And
great time
Sammy
to buy a
Claus,
car.
one of my favorite outfits. The last time I had Sammy Claus was back in college. A couple years after I was making money in my early 20s, went back to college and partied with the boys on our Christmas party. That was a blackout night. I got so many pictures of girls sitting on my lap and stuff like that. And I had a bunch of mini bottles in my sack. So it was got my sack right here. I know, Bobby, you love talking sacks. But yeah, I love Halloween. Last year I went as Woody. I'm going to dress up at work as Santa Claus, and I got some appointments, and I bet you I'll sell some cars.
Awesome. Well, hopefully it helps your sales job there, Sammy. You know, not many people know it, but I love seeing you as Gumby.
Yeah, Gumby was great. Oh my God, stories are endless as Gumby. My favorite college outfit in there. I cut a hole in the outfit just so I could drink through a straw. So drinking through a straw gets even more fucked up in the night. And then I ended up having like a college girlfriend, meeting her from being Gumby, and she called me Gumby throughout the whole relationship just because that's where she met me. So yeah, I got some great memories in that Gumby outfit.
Wow. Awesome. And is that a proven fact there, Donnie? You drink through a straw, you get drunk faster? I never heard of that one.
I believe so. And by the way, like, Sam's showing up to work tomorrow. Did you guys hear that? Buy one, get one free cars. I mean, now's the time to show up. And
no, I said buy one, get one full price. Buy one, get one full price.
No, that sounds like a bait and switch. That sounds like a bait and switch right there. Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. But last but certainly not least, Mr. Donnie Rightside. What's up, Donnie?
But I don't know if we're in Las Vegas here in the East Coast tomorrow for October, 31st. We're having 80-degree temperatures here.
What?
It's going to be fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, 80 degrees. You can just wear a bathing suit going trick-or-treating over on the East Coast. By the way, question, because South Jersey, which is where I'm from, the day before, we used to have mischief night. You go around egg houses, soak up stuff. Is that in like anybody else's neck of the woods? Because I know you're from back east, probably, but is that a thing in Vegas or Sammy in New York? Or is that just a New Jersey thing at this point?
JJ made a thread about that, and I think it was, apparent in other states. I think they call it different things, but, as I get older, you really don't hear about it as much anymore.
There's too many ring cameras. Everyone's got, cameras at their houses. They would know who the culprit is and stuff. It was a little bit around in my neighborhoods. I did have a great neighborhood growing up for trick-or-treating. My house that I live at now is there's no sidewalks on a main road, so there's no trick-or-treating, unfortunately. But as a kid growing up, there was a little bit of mischief, but not much. But nowadays with the ring cameras, I can't imagine people can get away with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But Donnie, let's jump right over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start it out with some World Series talk. How's the World Series been treating you so far? And what's your opinion for tonight's game?
It was treating me okay so far. Had a nice night last night. Looking to continue that today. The Yankees will win this game tonight. Garrett Cole's on the mound. I'm expecting a great effort. Now, does he have to go 7 innings pitch, 1 hit, no earned runs? No, he doesn't, because I think the Yankee bats should be able to get the Flaherty of this spot. But Sammy and I were talking before the show started. It actually should be 2-2 tonight with Garrett Cole on the mound in game number 5 to push this thing back to Los Angeles with the Yankees having a lead as opposed to playing for their lives. I loved what I saw yesterday out of the Yankee lineup. The one thing I've been waiting on this entire time is sooner or later, Aaron Judge has to get some solid contact, have some good at-bats, get on base, and get those vibes. And maybe he did that yesterday. Got an RBI, got a walk, got a base hit. Because if you can just get Aaron Judge from the regular season, we don't need a home run every game, but just be a menace in the middle of that lineup. Things can change. You're still at the point now where the pressure isn't back on the Dodgers. It's still on the Yankees to force it. But if the Yankees can win tonight, which I think they will, and force a game number 6, now that doubt starts to creep in with the Dodgers saying, hey, we had a 3-0 lead. We had to win 1 game, lost 2. Okay, well, now we're back in our own building. And heaven forbid, if that gets to game number 7, it will be advantage Yankees. But very happy with the way the Yankees played last night. I believe they get the W back tonight, and they head back. We get Friday World Series baseball, game number 6 in Los Angeles.
All right. Thank you, Donnie. Sammy, I know you're a Yankees fan. I know you're going to lean towards the Yankees, but let's get a little bit of an impartial review of the series
Mm.
so far from you. And what do you think about tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Freddie Freeman is blasting home runs every night,
He
and
is.
you can't not pitch to him. I was at my
Right.
parents' house last night for my dad's birthday, and it's just like, what are you supposed to do? You can't not pitch to him because the next guy on the line is just as dangerous and just as willing to get ivory eyes, which he did last night anyway. So, with your main hitter, your MVP not performing, and their MVP performing, out of 6 home runs in a row in the World Series, 4 straight in this series, 2 of them in the first inning. When you're starting off in the top of the first with a 2-0 lead and you haven't even batted yet, it's already demoralizing for the team. And also when your top guy isn't performing. But with all that said, game 1, Garrett Cole, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, no walks. If he does that tonight, even if he gives up 2 runs, the Yankees yesterday got back to hitting the ball for singles and doubles. Not everything needs to be a home run. You need to get 9 to 11 hits, and you're going to win the game. If everything you're not trying to crush for home runs, the small ball wins the game. Garrett Cole pitches like his dominant performance. They get back to LA.
All righty. Thank you, Sammy. And, if some of you guys have been living under a rock and have not seen it, let's jump over to this Mookie Betts fan interference. Donnie, I'm going to play this. You want to break it down for us a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Simple fly ball here by Glaber down the line. And it looks like every play in Major League Baseball. Guys, this happens probably 3 to 4 times a game where a player goes close to the crowd, makes a catch, can't make the catch. But 9 times out of 10, there's never even fan interference where the fan actually reaches out and grabs the baseball. This one, your fan reaches out and grabs the glove and twists it as hard as he can and knocks the ball out of his glove. I've never seen this before here at this point. And I got to tell you this. They should have been ejected from that game, but part of me wanted them to still be able to come back tonight. And there would have been a foul ball with Mookie Betts in right field that goes close to that wall. It would have been awesome to watch it. That's just my opinion.
Not to mention his buddy that reached over and grabbed Mookie's
grabbed his
hands.
arm. So good. So good.
Unbelievable. And, they are banned from game number 5. Tonight, and, you think it should go any further than that, Donnie?
To be honest, I'm pretty lenient on fans, but that was one of the more egregious fan things I've seen. Like in Philadelphia, we've seen some crazy things in the past, like guys falling into the penalty box and fighting NHL players, which is kind of hilarious. But outside of that, you can't, or at least you say to them, you have season tickets, you're on like the foul line. You can't have those tickets anymore. If you want to buy tickets, it's got to be like 30 rows back so you can't fan interfere. Like it's one thing to like grab the baseball or knock the glove away when the baseball is coming, but the fact to grab the baseball player and twist his glove to knock the ball out while your friend holds his other wrist so he can't get to his glove, you can't be anywhere near that field, man. I'm sorry.
Ridiculous. Sammy, your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, it was wild. It was like, you think of the famous guy from the Cubs that just took the ball over him, Bartman. Yeah. All he did was just put his arms over, and that's what most times it happens. Maybe their gloves goes over the other guy glove. This guy grabbed them and pulled them and everything. You relate it to like fans throwing garbage onto the field aimed at a guy. I mean, that was, and then did you see the interview today? Rob Gronkowski said that he was a teammate of his in college or like a friend of his in college.
He played hockey, at Arizona.
And he's like, oh, he's a great guy. He's passionate. But like, if he's so passionate, he failed on what he was attempting to do. He didn't get the ball, and Mookie still caught the ball. So he's trying to say that he defended, the territory. He failed at defending it. Get him out of that seat.
Yep. 100%. I just wild. I mean, wild.
It was. I mean,
you guys are saying
for how long it like tape wrapped. I mean, it's.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like it. It's unbelievable. But moving on, Donnie, let's talk some NBA. Let's talk some hardwood. What do you got?
Yeah, NBA tonight, 2 games I'm taking a look at, the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers. This line is getting out there now. 231.5 this morning as a total in that game. It's up to 235.5 at a lot of outlets. I grabbed that one around 233.5, but since we're doing the show live, it's 235. I think this one goes over. I think we get a crazy pace. The Boston Celtics have been lights out on offense. The Pacers, as we know, as their name suggests, they play with a ton of pace, and I believe they'll be able to do that tonight. Game number 2, I'm going to take the Philadelphia 76ers tonight. The Pistons haven't won a game. This line was 3 3.5 all morning long, now up to 4 and 4.5. So I agree with that line movement. So I do think the Sixers win this game by 5 tonight. Early on in the season, just trying to figure out which teams' rotations work, which players you like, which prop bets to take. But tonight, I'm on 1 over, which is that Pacers-Celtics game, and I'll take the Sixers. I got them at 3.5. It's 4 at some outlets now. So since your show is live, we'll take them at -4.
All righty. Sammy, what do you got in the NBA?
Well, listen. The Cowboys, they stink right now. And the Yankees, they got a couple games to go. So what does that mean? We got to shift to our New York Knicks, right? Wednesday basketball, the Knicks -1.5 over the Miami Heat. And the other game I like is Cleveland -5 over the Lakers. It's more of a want than like than anything, Bronny and LeBron going back to Cleveland, they're highlighting it for all this bullshit. And we know that after they return home, Bronny's going to the G League where he belongs, if anything. So I'm ready for the circus to be over. Hope that Cleveland destroys them. So it's more of a want than like I capped it type of thing.
Right. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, I know we touched on it a little bit last week, but just coming off the pipeline yesterday, 76ers were fined $100,000 for basically lying or not being truthful about Joel Embiid's health status.
Exactly. And they're still lying about it at this point, saying, oh, he had the surgery and nothing is wrong with it, but you had to keep him out an extra 3.5 weeks. Nonsense here. Something went wrong. His knee was bothering him. They're trying to build it back up. Just be straightforward with the public. It's not like sometimes like college football, you try to hide an injury. Like, hey, my starting quarterback's banged up. His thumb hurts. I'm just going to try to get around this. You didn't gain anything out of that. Like if Joel Embiid shows up or not, what is it? Surprise the other team? They just can't play basketball if Embiid is not in the lineup? Then stop the madness. They should have just been truthful with their fans. Hey, look, Embiid's going to be down for some time. We're going to ramp him up. Same thing with Paul George. No big deal. But when you hide it from your fans and give that, hey, I can't wait to see this new look Sixers. And the Sixers go, hey, by the way, I know you guys bought your tickets, and it'll be a couple weeks till you see Paul George and also Joel Embiid play. That's what the fine should have been for. $1,000 for faking out your own fans who believe that those players might even be playing opening night, which included Joel Embiid, who knows when the guy's playing again.
Exactly. Tammy, let's jump over to you. Let's talk some college football. How was your college football last weekend? What do you got on deck for this weekend?
Yeah, so last week I went 2-3 in college, which is just about what I do every week, just lose a little bit. And in reference to this week, I'm going to Carolina or I'm going to Charlotte. So I'm not going to be betting on anything like pregame. What I'm going to be doing is kind of just walking around the city and doing some different adventures. And at one point, I'll definitely be at a sports bar having some food. And at that point, I'll find a live game to watch and to bet.
Okay.
And then at that point, I'll bet something from there. But I won't be doing anything pregame. But the big game of the week, 12 o'clock Eastern time, 3 versus 4, Ohio State versus Penn State. Definitely, obviously, the game of the week. The winner almost guarantees their spot into the playoff. The loser won't go down more than a couple rankings, and there's still going to be a great shot into the playoffs with the 12-team field. But it's a great regular season game, as Donnie and I always say every single week, and that'll be a fun one.
All righty. Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, over to you to the college football talk. How was last weekend? What do you got on deck?
Pretty good. Had a good time. Again, this is the best college football season because it seems like every single week you have major matchups that are going to determine who's going to be in the playoffs, who's going to be out of the playoffs, elimination games. I love it here. And Ohio State, Penn State is a monster game. I look at it this way. Ohio State, the overwhelming public favorite as well at -3.5 points, hasn't moved all that much this week. And I don't care. I'll buck the I'm going to go Ohio State. Every time Penn State has a game that they're not supposed to win, they never win those type of football games. So 3.5, I think Ohio State can go in the Happy Valley and win that game. It will be close, but I trust Will Howard. Also, one of these things, guys, Will Howard grew up in the Philadelphia suburbs. He wanted to go to Penn State. Penn State told him they didn't think he was good enough to go there. Finds his way over to Ohio State after a transfer, and he is fired up for this football game. I think it plays out the way Ohio State gets the victory. And also, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party this weekend. That's Florida and Georgia from Jacksonville. That line is 16.5 points as a favorite towards Georgia in a rivalry game. But I'm actually going to go to the total. 52, I think it goes over the total. I think we get some good offense between these two. And by the way, Florida, one of those teams where you enter into the season, hey, can they even get 3 wins? What a tough schedule. 4-3 on the season, and their offense is playing really well. 40-plus points against a good Kentucky defense the week before. Let's see what happens. Give me the over 52.
All righty. Awesome, Donnie. Thank you. Tammy, let's jump over to a little NFL. How was last week for you? And, I know you're going to the game Sunday. What do you got on deck this weekend?
Yeah, so in reference to last week, for the contest, I forgot to make picks. I just forgot to press the submit button or something like that.
Yeah.
I went in Sunday afternoon and I was looking to see how I was doing, and I'm like, no picks made. Like, what did I do? Which is on me. Obviously, part of my routine in the morning is to review everything, but I was at work on Sunday, so that might have thrown me off. But anyway, I had a profitable week from a gambling aspect. Just forgot to do my picks onto the thing. But the theme of this week, and actually for the overall leaderboard, isn't necessarily the number of wins. It is how you are winning, because the 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that matters.
Yep.
So when you look at week 8, you had 4 guys that were 6-1, but you had 2 guys tied for 4th place, which were Stale and Arnouche. And then you had Mike 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 5-2. Big J 6-1, 26 points. And then first place was Go Blue 6-1, 27 points. So the confidence level is a big deal. When you look at the overall leaderboard, the guy with the most wins, which is 36 wins, he's in 10th place right now, 16 points behind. So nothing against the top 3 or the top 5 that have 34 wins, but the confidence level is the biggest variable from a week-to-week standpoint. So right now, the top 5, you have 3 guys tied at 136, Curious, Pie Mike, and TT Warrior. You got DH Ristoff with 142, and the leader is DJP at 146.
Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, how was week number 8 for you in the NFL?
4-3 in the contest pool. The interesting is I won my 7, lost my 6, won my 5, lost my 4, won my 3, lost my 2, and won my 1, which is kind of interesting how that played out. So still looking to get back on track. I think I'm in 25th place. Got to make a little bit of a run in this week, but I did have a good week last week in prop bets. 4-3 in the pool. You'll take it, but I wish it was I won the 7, 6, the 5, and the 4 as opposed to the.
Oh, and we just lost Donnie. I don't know what happened to him. Yeah, he looked like his internet connection was cutting out, and he just disappeared.
Woo.
Crazy. But Sammy, let's go over to you. We're not going to have much of a choice here. Let's get a little week 9 preview. I know you're going up to the game, so you're real fast on that. You're going to the game. Does that influence your betting? Are you going to be betting more on that one game because you're going to it, or how's that working out for you?
No, so in reference to, am I going to be betting more? I mean, first off, this is my second ever NFL game that I'm going to. My last game.
1 second, Sam. 1 second. 1 second, Donnie.
I don't know what happened.
1 second. No, you're good. Sammy, go on.
Yeah, so Donnie, he was talking about me going to Charlotte this weekend. So yeah, in reference to going to the game, it's my second ever game. The first game I went to was in 2008. I'm not going to bet any more or any less. First off, this is a horrible game. It's a 2-6 New Orleans that's lost 6 straight.
Yeah.
1-7 Carolina Panthers.
You couldn't have picked a better one to go to, huh?
Now, however, I chose this game for a reason in reference to it's a good city. It's going to be nice weather, and I've never been there. And I'm sitting row 1, 45-yard line for a feasible price because these teams stink. So I paid $600 for row 1, 45-yard line. So, I'm in reference to like MetLife Stadium, those tickets are $2,500. So because the teams stink, I got awesome seats, but I'm still going to my second ever game. So I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to be taking Carolina plus 6.5 for a couple reasons. One, I want to bet on the home team, and I'm going to be rooting for Carolina. I got a Clowney jersey that I'm going to be wearing at the game. And 2, New Orleans have lost 6 straight. I know Bryce Young isn't that good, and the Carolina offense isn't that good, and they just lost one of their weapons in Johnson. He just got traded. But New Orleans have lost 6 straight. Where's the New Orleans team that had 2 straight games where they scored 40-plus points? Now they're not producing on offense. So, I mean, it's 2 horrible teams. Someone has to win. I think Carolina can maybe get the cover. Tomorrow night, the Thursday night game, I'm going to take the Texans versus the Jets. I keep losing every week. I bet on the Jets. So this week I'm betting against the Jets, and obviously they're going to win. Now, I know the Texans are without Nico Collins, and they lost Stephon Diggs for the year. So they got 2 wide receiver weapons that they are losing. But fuck me, I can't keep losing on the Jets. What's going on with this team? They got all the weapons. They're supposed to be a Super Bowl team. So they're supposed to win tomorrow, and I should be taking them. But I keep losing with them, so they're going to win now that I'm betting against them. I like Buffalo this Sunday afternoon over Miami. The Buffalo offense is just rolling, and I don't think Miami has the offense to stop them. Pretty disappointing loss last week with the return of Tua, but shout out to him for actually diving when he scrambled and not taking the hit. I like Baltimore minus 9.5 home to Denver. Again, I just think it's too much offense on Baltimore. Denver's 5-3. I'm not going to call them fraudulent because they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat. Tampa, the Jets, Vegas, New Orleans, Carolina. you can't help the schedule. They're beating the teams that they're supposed to beat. They're 5-3, but now they're playing a Super Bowl caliber team, and I think Baltimore will be too much for them. I like Detroit -3.5 over Green Bay. Jordan Love, I believe, is questionable. I think he's going to play, but again, that Detroit offense is too much, and until someone stops them, I'm going to keep taking Detroit because they're just a offensive firepower. I like the Rams over Seattle. Kind of the theme of the week, just the offense and take the hot team. Puka and Cooper Kupp are back. So Seattle is just a mid team right now, and the Rams have won 2 straight, and that offense is going with Williams, Puka, and Kupp. Let's take that hot team. And the last one is going to be Kansas City Monday Night Football -8.5, -9, depending on where you're at. -8.5 to -9.5 is based somewhat irrelevant. It should be because that 10 number and that 7 number are the key numbers there. But I think that offense is too much. Tampa Bay without their 2 biggest weapons. So I'm going to take Kansas City at home on Monday Night Football.
Yeah. All righty. Awesome. Thank you, Sammy. Donnie, let's jump over to you. Let's get a little week 9 preview. What do you got?
Yeah, 7 spot for me here. I'm going to take the Jets, Sam. I'm with you. Sooner or later, they're supposed to win these football games. You're supposed to have a major advantage on Thursday in your own building. And also, it's not a travel where it's the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Giants on a Thursday night where they take a train. They're up there in 45 minutes. That's a pretty good travel night for Houston, not having a lot of practice and also injured. Tank Dell's their number 1 wide receiver. Now, why? No Nico Collins, no Stephon Diggs. I think the Jets finally rise up and get a victory in this game. And now that Aaron Rodgers drinking cayenne pepper and water, maybe he's got a little bit more electricity heading into this game. Indianapolis, I'm actually going to take them with the 5.5 points against Minnesota. Yes, they're on the road. Joe Flacco's playing quarterback, which means they're going to have a competent offense, guys. Somebody's going to complete more than 30% of his passes. Give me the 5.5 points. I'll take the Chargers on the road against Cleveland. Love these type of spots. Cleveland all fired up and rightfully so, beating their rival, the Baltimore Ravens. They come crashing down to earth because Jim Harbaugh slows this game down. The defense gets to Jameis, and they pound the rock and come away with the victory. I'll lay the 1.5 on the road. Sammy, I'm actually going to take New Orleans in this game based on one thing. If Derek Carr is the starter on Sunday. If not, I'm completely out on this game. So right now, they're on my card, -6.5 to go on the road and take on an awful Carolina team. I'm also going to take Denver, getting 9.5 points from Baltimore. This line does scream. Take the Denver Broncos, which means that usually turns out. 10 points, they can't lose by that much. I'm going to buy in early in the week. I like what Denver's doing. I think they can keep it close to Baltimore. I'm with you, Sammy. Detroit, Green Bay, give me Detroit. They're my favorite team. Every other day, I find myself putting $25, $50 down on the who's going to win the NFC Championship. It's Detroit. I have 8 bets already in on Detroit for that at little margins, but every day I keep buying. +320 place, +310. It's dropping, +290, +280. Don't care. They are going to win the NFC. This is a monster game for them. They'll go on the road and handle it, Lambeau. And I'm also going to take the Philadelphia Eagles laying the 7.5 at home. It's white flag time for Jacksonville. Traded their top wide receiver gets injured. And then what do? Step up and trade their left tackle this week. It's a wrap. The Eagles should smoke them by double digits. But that's where I'm leaning this weekend.
All righty. Awesome, Donnie. Thank you. And once again, everybody, happy Halloween. Have a safe and happy one. And we will see you guys on the forum.
See you.